It's time to call the next startup, and this startup is working in the space of healthcare. Well, healthcare is a space where any amount of work you do, there is so much more to do. Let's listen to what they have to say. Please put your hands together to welcome Trawello.
Hello everyone, my name is Srinath. I'm the co-founder of Trawello, and this is my co-founder Dushman Kumar Pati. I would like to tell a story of my friend Ashutosh, who actually relocated to US a couple of years ago. His daughter Ria, 12 years old, had a health checkup in her school and was diagnosed with a vision loss on her left eye. Wow, that was a surprise for him and a shock. And what happened was his daughter's right eye was perfectly fine, whereas the left eye had a gradual vision loss. This could have been prevented if there was a regular health screening in her school in India. Do you believe that there are 2 crore such health problems in the school children of India? That's got us started of thinking, and then we said, how can we address this problem? It's a huge problem, and main thing that we looked at was, whenever a kid goes to a doctor, he or she is always afraid of the injection or the prick. So we decided that all our screening will be non-invasive, 0 prick. And can we also make this experience of the health checkup a little more enjoyable? That's when we said, let's have gamified apps to make the screening better. So now, as we just talked about, the children have preventable diseases like vision loss, hearing loss, and mental wellness issues of anxiety, depression, malnutrition, obesity are all very common these days. That brings us to our solution of HealthyKid. What do? We actually go to school premises and do a health screening for both physical and mental wellness. The physical wellness includes the whole body checkup, your vision, hearing, and dentist. And we look at more than 40 plus parameters, and all of these records are maintained electronically. We do provide a parent app, so the parent can actually keep track of the records and also use it whenever they want. Health education also is equally important, and that is where we actually have health seminars for kids, parents, and the teachers, all the key stakeholders in the education system. The question is, who are we? So both of us, myself, Srinath, and Dushman, are classmates, roommates, and now co-founders, and we come from NIT Trichy. I have done my executive education in healthcare from IIM Bangalore, and my friend Dushman here has had a startup called Get My Medicine, which he sold a couple of years ago. And to back us up with the research, we have professors from top medical colleges providing us inputs on how to make this health screening reliable, accurate, as well as scientific. Now, what's our ask? So currently, we are looking at 90 lakhs investment at 14.5% equity for helping us in R&D, software development, and team building.
To me personally, the whole idea of an app for kids, I don't know, at that age, should we get them exposed to technology? I'm not sure, but let's listen to what the judges have to say. Yes, Kiran?
What is your per unit cost finally? You said you had a turnover of 3.5 lakhs, you said, over 5 schools.
Yes.
So what is currently your per unit cost with respect to the service that you're delivering? Or per child cost?
Yep.
The way I'm
so our per unit cost is coming around 196 rupees to 228 rupees, depending on the package that is coming by.
Okay.
And we sell that unit, per unit charge when you charge to school, we charge anywhere between 250 to 350 and all the way to 850 because we have multiple packages in that range. So our base price starts from 250 and goes way all the way up to 850 rupees. So our unit cost is 196 to 228 rupees.
Okay. And I think you spoke about breaking up, but that was my next question. Are you bundling this as a complete service? So what if somebody only wants a screening but doesn't want the consultation that you referred to, or are you just saying you have to take the whole package which includes both or maybe even more?
True, true. I think there are two factors that we're looking at. There are currently schools where there is no screening happening. We sell this whole thing as a package where they can take a silver package or a gold package or a platinum package.
Okay.
And silver package includes only the screening and the data being available. The gold package includes this plus counseling, guidance, and having the health talk that he talked about. And platinum package includes there are physical aspects of other things where physical fitness and other things where the sports related stuff. So those will be getting added. Barring that, there are schools where local doctors or even the hospitals, they come locally and then they screen, but they don't use any technology. So the data is getting lost. So we sell to those schools only the SaaS solution, that we will train these guys, doctors and health practitioners, and provide them the SaaS solution. And SaaS solution is currently priced at 150 rupees to 200 rupees.
Is it a business or is it a for-profit social entrepreneurship model?
So it's definitely a social enterprise in that, okay, we're actually impacting the society. That's one of the key ideas. And but obviously, I mean, the business has to be sustainable, and then that is, we are running it as a business, and we are currently focusing only on private schools. And once we scale up, once we have the heft, that maybe we can also have a CSR part of it and then go bigger. But right now, it is a purely for business model.
Okay,
Thank you. Doctor, coming from the medical industry, what do you have to say about this?
The duration for all your screening tests, how many times you do in a year?
We do once in a year, but there are some schools who ask us to do it twice because we are monitoring their growth along with the health part of it. So some of the young kids who are growing, so we do 6 months basis. In fact, one of the schools asked us that we want particularly do it twice, and then the price would be definitely, because they are negotiable, so it's enterprise to enterprise.
So with the
business.
duration and screening, what next?
So after screening, what we do is that we provide them the health report to the kids through the school and the teacher, and the app through which the parents can get all their health records and data being available. So we are coming up with, probably in a year and a half, the contextual advice, health guide for their children, particularly meant for them depending on the environment they're living in, depending on the location they are in, and the health issues they currently have or existing.
You have screening, you have everything fine, but without service, how you are going to predict and prevent it?
Okay, so I think this is where we made a very clear distinction. When we started with the school said, you guys are going to find the issues and then you will get the doctors, you will charge us and then get the money from us. So you are going to find more number of issues just because you have a business need to do it, and that's when we decided that we are not going to be bringing our doctors to address the issue. Our doctors will only counsel and guide them that your child has got these issues, you need to go and consult a doctor of this type. Now you are free to go and do it. There are parents who don't, actually we have seen 2-3% of the parents, they are negligent and they don't do it, and that creates a problem, but then we don't want to enter into that business, so we get the doctor and solve that problem. So we guide them. That's our primary focus.
Perfect. Shubho?
I have two questions. So are you working directly with the schools and the schools are paying because it's channeling through the schools, or the parents are paying for the subscription?
It's a pure B2B model. We work with the school management, and then the school management then actually takes our service. As part of their annual fees, they add a health checkup fee in that. And then that is actually makes it easier in terms of our reachability and then things like that. Also, the total lifetime value also increases because a kid enters the LKG, is there in the school for almost 12 years. So that's also
and it also takes care of your cash flow because you're working directly. Like in terms of scalability, because it requires a lot of physical attention and you have to be there hands-on. And although you have an app, but that is only for reporting, but screening has to be
I think that is where I wanted to go back. So there are a couple of things that we are doing which is very unique, which is the gamified part that we talked about. And can we go back to the slide? So in fact, we have an app that we can showcase on our stuff. So this is one of the apps. Okay, so this is a color blindness app, which looks very simple. We have also audiometry app, and where headsets are being put and then that's being shown. So what happens is, we are looking at how we are unique. In fact, we have 4 competitors right now. I mean, starting from Address Health is one among them, to many of them, HealthSet Go second, and there are many of them. Okay, so what we are looking at is that this whole pipeline, because our business model allows us only to spend 3 to 5 minutes per kid, because we are covering 500 students over a period of 4 days to 4.5 days, keeping 4 doctors and technicians and health practitioners in the pipeline, and every kid we can maximum spend 5 minutes. Of course, for the single kid it will look like as if he has spent 25 minutes, but on an average basis we need to spend 5 minutes. And that 5 minute has to be so precise and accurate. So our whole mantra is automation of the complete pipeline, from entering of the health screening start point to the exit point where the doctor finishes the screening and tells these are the issues or not. We have automated the complete thing, and the data is being captured as and when this is getting generated. Okay. Actually that is one of the key points that we wanted to highlight, is that we have seen, I mean, we started with manual. We have seen with manual, and no matter how much of practice and how much of attention being paid, 3 to 5% data errors happen because of the repetitive nature of this job. I mean, the technician who is sitting there doing height and weight, he will or she will make mistakes, and we have seen 2 to 3%, 5% cases. So right now we are building 3 things. One is complete automation of the pipeline. The second thing is that we are building automated devices which would help us, and for that we are working with some of the institutes, including our own institute, NIT Trichy, where professors are helping us. And the third thing is that the question that came is how the doctors we get, right? So we are building, that platform is not yet there. We are building a platform of ecosystem of healthcare practitioners, which is doctors, nurses, and technicians who would be trained by us through the various technical means and use our platform so that automation doesn't get any hindrance in the whole pipeline. So our target is reaching 5 minutes. In fact, we are looking at delivering the health report within 3 days' time. Right now, it takes anywhere between 15 to 18 days. And we think with the complete automation and the doctor panel being on the stuff, we can do it in 3 days. In fact, our end objective in probably 5 years' time is that next day itself, it should be available at their phone.
Fantastic. A quick and a last question from Dr.
Yes, I would start off by agreeing with my co-panelists over here that you have great credibility in this particular sector. But I'll also start off by saying, I'll have to quote one anecdote. I'm a father to a child, and recently he underwent a particular initiative from the school, which was sponsored by a large hospital chain, which was completely free. We were not charged. And the hospital chain basically brought in pediatricians and checked, gave us a vital score, and it went back to the hospital as such. So the question which I have for you is, the doctors that you have on board, are they general practitioners or are they pediatricians?
Okay, so what we do is we get general practitioners to do the health screening. I mean, again, given our healthcare system and then the paucity of doctors, so we focus on general practitioners to come and do the first level of screening. And the counseling that we talked about is when we bring the pediatrician, the psychiatrist, and whoever that is required.
How comfortable would I be as a parent to have a general practitioner to actually look at my child? Instead of that, I would rather prefer a large hospital chain which specializes in pediatrics to have a look at my child and then branch out to a specific sector or a specific vertical in terms of pediatric care. For example, my son had some respiratory issues which were referred to a pediatric pulmonologist. So how do you address that? So when you say your competition is just 4 people, your competition is not 4. Your competition is actually the large hospital chain which actually do free of cost.
Yes.
Right?
Fantastic. I think I'll cut that there, and I'm sure all of these inputs will help you go back to your storyboard and rethink and innovate some more and address these issues. Thank you so much. Are we ready to see the scores?
Yep.
Okay, Dr. Shrikant, that's a 7.5. Thank you. Shubho, 8. Thank you so much. Dr. Shivram Krishna, 6. Thank you. And a 7 again. Thank you so much. All the best. Congratulations. That was definitely a nice pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you.